Hey, surprise, surprise, surprise. How you guys doing out there? What am I doing live early? Why am I here early? Well, somebody that Mr. Terry Topia out there uh, can't just seem to keep off of his mind, along with others, is going to go live in, I don't know, a couple hours or something. Something like that. So I figured, we'll just go now and we'll do this now and just get this done. Let's get that crazy scrolling marquee going. Let us see. We had a crazy live stream the last time. If you guys recall, somebody was doing everything they could to get on my panel, and I kept saying no, and I will still say no, with no regrets. How about that for no means no? Anybody remember that? I do. I surely do. Anyways, I didn't roll the intro, so we should probably do that just to keep things on the level. What do you think, guys? Should we do that? I think we should do that. Okay, hang on. Here it goes. Okay, there we go. That was that. So really, I'm just going to go over a few things here tonight. Unless anybody wants to do a little bit of panel. But yeah, we had Rod on here last week. Squishy was trying to get him on the panel. Let's see, even Andrew came on here. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Some of the OGUPKers kind of popping in chat. Kind of chanting him on as he restreamed on his own channel and apparently fell asleep as that live kept going for the longest time until he later must have woken up and made it private. One thing I did find out, though, however, is even if you remove a video, and someone had told me this once before, even if you remove like a video from your channel, doesn't mean it can't get struck, particularly if the AI picks up on it, which is true. I saw this with the Asylum's channel, of all places, just the other week when they deleted that video. Had the original link to it. Back just a few minutes later, and it was given a community guideline strike. Damn. Ask Nicolene about that. Anyways, so yes, it is true. It can actually happen. And it is, I'm kind of the one who shared around the turning the DVD-R off when I heard it from somebody else. Taught me that trick. A guy known as Emo so long ago. Could you imagine that? Wow. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Now, a little Terry Topia over there. We're not going to give him too much attention, but just enough. Said that my live stream is a receipt. So that means mine is also a receipt. I remember playing this game with some of these degens. Not gen, degens, as in degenerates. And we're gonna get into that a little bit. COVID's, is kind of a regular on that channel. It's kind of his little retreat getaway spot, I guess. In all fairness, I think he topped out very briefly at about 16 or 19 watchers, just momentarily before it dropped. It kind of plummeted back down to just a few. Not there's a lot of people on my channel right now as we speak, but that's okay because shout out to the replay crew, right? That's right. So he had like Bedtime Clown on there. And there is an interesting comment that was left by some sock account in my chat. And I did remember his original avatar was a clown with rainbow hair, and I think it had some funny eyes or something to it, something like that, before he changed it. He was using that for a while as a StreamYard avatar, and he eventually changed it to that more of that I don't know, what'd you call that? Kind of a scary stories. Anyone remember that growing up? It was like Scary Stories 1, 2, and 3 back in the day. Boy, I sure do. So, anyways, BTC is I clipped him once again, and I hope he keeps it going. That just gives me content, and now that's a receipt, little Terry. That's a receipt. But these guys get on there, and these are the ones who say, "Oh, Abe's always living in the past." And what are these? You listen to these guys. If anybody caught that stream, where they're talking about the same troll content that was being used against me back in 2022, 3, and 4. And here we are in 2026. Hey, Shizzle, what's going on? Not to confuse you with a guy known as Nizzle and We the People Tyrant Wars. Anyways, why am I not? Oh, you must be on the vertical stream. You must come over to the horizontal stream. And then I can give you a little mod wrench there. Anyways, so we got 𝚘𝚊𝚔𝚘 on there projecting and just tossing out word salad out there. And even COVID's actually said that I was DMing as I read that. Let's just talk about somebody else. I think he was talking about, I was only on there for a few minutes sporadically. My brain cells, I can't take it. It's just like, wow, we're going to talk about him. Now, interesting how Squishy had tried to use the defense the last time that she got up. And hey, shout out that she did get on. And yes, it is true, Rada was trying to get on the panel, and I wouldn't let him. And there's a lot of reasons for that. A lot of reasons. For one, he was the guy who kept kicking me out of the Asylum server back in the day, and kept kicking me from, I think Squishy's a couple of times he did, or he would server mute me. He would server mute me 51 times in a single VC. He used to get on Lisa B's in panel and overtake that like he does every other panel he gets on. It's interesting that nobody calls that out. And these are a lot of the same people who used to scream about me, saying, "Oh, there's Abe. All he ever does is get on the panel, and it's all about him, always overtaking the show." And nobody says a fudging word about Rada, who gets on there and runs roughshod over the whole dang thing. But he certainly is one to get on there and talk about everyone when they're not around. But bouncing back to this 𝚘𝚊𝚔𝚘 2.0 is what I call it, because he deleted his own first channel in a mad rage with, of course, Remember My Noodles and Sam Hill American. He learned his lesson about talking about replaying her content, and that's what caused all that, of course. Vids, on the other hand, has apparently didn't learn his lesson replaying Wild German Lady, aka Dude, her content and getting struck down. I assume those are copyright strikes from her, but not for Total Sure. But noticed how he doesn't seem to be covering her or even going live kind of ever since that went down. Did you get 2 weeks suspension? I mean, let your imaginations run wild there. And one thing about COVIDs, and there was an account that put that in the chat on Mr. Terietopius earlier, is that yes, it is true that he was pretty much the primary, how I would say, promoter for this guy known as Black National Freedom Fighter, who I just checked and his channel is gone. So I don't know. I don't have the link to the guy's original channel. Never even commented on his channel or used it, but he certainly had a mod wrench on COVIDs, as mentioned. He admitted earlier, and he was one of his biggest white knights at the time. And if anyone knows anything about that guy's past, well, we can play the what's called the PDF simp game and say that yes, by his own his own definition of how he's trying to use. And I don't think if he doesn't know what this means, ex post facto blame game and trying to pit people with others that are actually on paper, as we would say. 𝚘𝚊𝚔𝚘 has been begging for a Big Mac to try to get this live stream from 2023 of a channel known as Lady Di. If anyone knows anything about her, there's an interesting history with her in 𝚈𝚘𝚞𝚏𝚘. Did you guys know that? I sure do. I was around then. And it is true that 𝚈𝚘𝚏𝚏's first live stream and the first person she started going at was, well, this is me. It was me. And the other person was Connie, Rebel. I just called you Connie again. When I was on Rebel's panel the other night, he said, call me that name one more time, put out your address and your phone number. But he never did. Why is that? I don't know. But maybe because he doesn't have it, which is kind of ironic because it's already one of my numbers. I have several, of course, is already out there in a video. But I guess maybe do a little bit better homework and you'll have one of them. Until I decided to change that number. I deliberately did not change that number because I must admit, in the interest of transparency, if there is such a thing out here, that to date I've never gotten a single phone call. Isn't that crazy? Damn. Just damn. Much the same as Blue Eyes was running around on channels that were unfamiliar to most and saying that I was a PDF file and a child suicide baiter back in mid and late 2024. Regurgitating what none other than Rick Rude was running around saying after accusing this Lady Diana's husband of doing that to their granddaughter. Now, that's disgusting in itself. And you know what's even more disgusting? Let's go back to Rada for just a minute. Rada was the co-host on Lisa B's old channel when they were sitting there making a mockery of this poor child's death for almost 8 hours straight. How you doing, Taco and Yoshi? Welcome. I'm sorry to talk about such a dark topic there for just a minute. We'll veer off from that. But it is true, Vids. Vids was one of these guys, and as was Evil Terry. Unbeknownst to me, I had a screenshot or a video short, which just has a cut of Evil Terry's audio at the very end of what was known as a Friday Night Fuckery with Flying Monkey. Rest in peace. And her daughter-in-law, who is currently on YouTube, known as Midwest Mom of Two. Now, I'll give Midwest Mama 2 some credit there. She has been very honest about when I've kind of returned fire at some of the stuff that's gone in the past. And Vids, you mentioned Carl82, I believe. I do recall that. Didn't you donate to that guy's Westy Dog fund? Wasn't that back in 2018? I think it was. And you're sitting here calling me out, saying I was a simp for that guy. You might be surprised to know that I've never spoken to that man, not even once. Neither Steve 6.8. Never spoken to the man. And actually, guys, would you believe I've never even heard that guy's voice in any clip anywhere. I first learned of that guy when the whole Swag Said thing came about, and my boss Brain was going live about it, trying to get down to the brass tacks of what was going on between those 2 $5,000 payments or whatever it was. Hey, News Now Preston, welcome. But that was not my fight. Unlike Black Rose, I tend to try to stay in my own lane. Now, Black Rose out there, it is true that a lot of the stuff that has gotten out about this bitch, and I do call men bitches too, including guys like Bedtime Clown and Trump said there in the chat, he's never proven he's been in the military, by the way. Neither is a guy known as Albert Mell, who used to come on here also. You should demand receipts of people when you don't show any yourself. So there is definitely that. So much more. But the things that we know of people like Black Rose came from a very untrustworthy, disingenuous, a very condescending bitch known as Huckleberry. Did you guys know that? She actually became friends with her, and I think she still is. But yes, and it could be some of Virgo Tria, but I think Lisa B hit a nail with when she brought up when Preston's in the chat here was talking on the panel the other day that it would seem that a lot of this stuff seems to come around someone known as Huckleberry back in the time, who doesn't really seem to be around as often, certainly not involved in drama. Well, there could be some reasons for that, very possibly too. Trump said, I'd love to see a copy of that DD-214 of yours. I've never seen it before. Anyways, interesting. We haven't seen proof from Rada that he was in the military. And when I cornered him on that, he said, I don't care what people think of me. Isn't that something? Wow, just wow. But nothing ceases to amaze me out here, as it shouldn't yourselves either. And as the YouTube turns. That's right, people, that's right. Now, Bedtime Clown is friends with Recruit, who married a 16-year-old when he was 21, by his own admission. Oof, 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 oof. Black Rose, by her, well, I don't know that she had put this out, but it got leaked. It got put out there. But she was having a romantic, intimate relationship with a guy named by the name of Raymond, who actually is a on paper, yes, PDF, and that is actually true. And the other information we got out of her, it did come from Huckleberry, that she did try to OD on pills. See, this stuff would not be out here if it wasn't for their own mouths. When you put this stuff out, it gets put on blast at some future point because these people are definitely not brand loyal to each other, not alone themselves. And when they turn on each other, that's when this stuff comes out. Much the same as we saw with the whole stabby Hebrew fiasco, which, yes, I would agree, is a one-sided argument. Why would I say that? Because Hebrew's not around to tell his side of the story. Now, I will give a credit to where credit is due. A guy known as L.A. Spike, hashtag Spike this, actually saw my community tab that I shared from Ma Boss Brain's last live stream. Well, I did two of them ago, actually. But hey, who's counting? Where a Hebrew Hammer operator account came in the chat and made some comments and referenced this. Comes back to a channel with only, I think, somewhere around 7 subs. With that in mind, it is known that Hebrew is notorious for making sock clones. And we saw this on a shit show when I was still not allowed to get on there. When he flooded their chat, this is when ASMR was still around, for the second or third go around, and using a crap ton of Abe sock accounts, just flooding that chat. So whether or not that was really him commenting about stabbing in the chat is unknown. So there is that. Now, just because people say things on the internet doesn't make it true. And on that note, when people get doxxed and things get put out there about them, I wouldn't hold them liable for that, responsible if there is such a thing. We would say the same thing for Kane's comedy, used to be Catharsis, when he got doxxed by Squishy, as I recall it, not putting that information out himself. So anyways, it's interesting to look at the history of history. Now, back to COVID's just for a minute. Hey, Nigel, what's going on there, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. This is a guy who knows about some of Bedtime Clown's shenanigans, and I credit this guy right here for calling some of them out. Anybody remember that? It was back to a channel known as Nemesis Reincarnated at the time, and Once Upon a Tonic and Sales. But most of that all that really went down on Nemesis's channel, kind of overflowed on there. So there it is. Trump said, I have no interest in paying money to see shit on people on the internet. Let's be abundantly clear about that. Hey, Patriot, it's a case in point. You are calling me out for something you have not done yourself. I'd love to see the receipt, if you're willing to put it out there, or DM it to me that you served in the Army. But whether you do that or not is totally up to you. It doesn't affect my life in any way, shape, or form. When I shut this thing off, guess what? Life goes on. You don't want me to sing that to you, do you? Nah, I won't. But anyways, my point is that when you call somebody up for something that you're not doing yourself, or if you're making the claim to fame of whatever it is, and you're not going to turn your card over and show your deck at the poker table, then why should anybody else? And that is definitely what I would call being a hypocrite. Now, COVID's, we're going to go back to him for just a minute here again, because he definitely wants my attention. Now, COVID's started to mingle back in 3 years ago, with a lot of the Abe haters, what you call hate bonders. These are people that get on the internet. They have no, as I would say, drama of their own, and they decide to interject themselves everywhere they can. Just like you have people like Black Rose around marking channel after channel in the chat like a fire hydrant. In other words, a dog marking a fire hydrant. So see how that works out for her. I've yet to see her get on a Vegas Valley panel with her new hubby, Silly Wabbit, who incidentally lost his channel last month. What a pity. I'm sure we all lost sleep over that. That guy is just cringe. I think someone should measure the pH level of his brain. What do you think? Boy, I sure do. Let me tell you. It takes all kinds out here. It really does. But they want to be so relevant, and they try to come at you from every angle, and they try to use it against you, saying, this is this is all stuff that's really really critical and vital to you. That's why we talk about this. And then they'll come on back and, oh no, actually that's not true. You're the one who brings this up and keeps going, talking about it. You got nothing else to go with. You run out of ammo. You only have so much. I don't talk about my personal life on the internet. I just don't. It's not a good idea out here. So if Abe was a fake cop and lives in his mom's basement, it was the best that people like these Rada and COVIDs and Terry and the rest of these people would talk about the trials and triumphs of a RO hearing in the state of Kansas over a half of a year ago, where you never would have seen Terry talking about this back then when he was friends with some of these guys that he's now turned on since then. Becomes a big deal. This is where I got Bird, as a matter of fact. The last time I went live with him on the panel, or just in the chat, actually a little bit of both, called him out. And I says, well, it's interesting that you're calling out your old friends and you're calling them all predators and all kinds of stuff, like you did to me. Actually, he called me a direct PDF file, which is bullshit. And we all know it. But you're all of a sudden, you are very passionate about this issue, right? This is so mission critical to you that you decided that you're going to put these people out on blast only now when it's convenient for you to do so. Have not seen any receipts to back any of that. Just a lot of hearsay. What did Tyrant Wars used to say on their little video, their 1995 pixelated Dark Clown template with the 2017 Halloween Walmart mask? Yeah, that. It said, I'm the only one who seemed to have noticed out here. It said, speculative verbiage and hearsay testimonies. What does that mean exactly? Well, you guys are good at Googling, so Google it. I mean, Jesus Christ. You can't make this shit up. You just can't. And the only reason Bird even came on here to begin with is because certain people, occasionally would get on here. And or on the panel or in the chat. Otherwise, you'd never see this guy around anywhere at all. There was a time, once upon a time, 3 years ago, him and Steph both said, and I don't, not this verbatim, they would be caught dead on this channel, my channel, because I'm so irrelevant in the scheme of things of drama out here. I love it when these people say stuff like this. If that was true, why would you even mention that? Are you looking for people to, rubber stamp that? Are you looking for people to, what we call confirmation bias, to your projection there? Is that what this is? What is this? And much the same out of him, when I cornered him on this issue and said, well, it's interesting that you're saying all of your old friends, every single one of them are predators. Well, it's interesting that these are people that you used to hang out with there, Bird, for a very long time. So what do you, by your own definition, your own textbook definition, much the same as COVID's, you are a PDF supporter, simp. PDF, whatever that means. Everybody has their own definition of what that means. You got guys like BTC. These people are disturbed individuals. Why would that topic be something of such importance? All these people do is come on here and talk about that. Isn't that amazing? It is. Why don't you go ask him and have an, oops, I clicked the wrong thing here. and go ask yourself. Okay, so that took care of that. By the way, moderators, I am monitoring the chat on YouTube, because the only safe way you can really go on live and do a show like this is, if you want to be done right, you got to do it yourself. Not to. That's not a cheap shot to the mods out there, but there are some out there that will try to unhide people or untime them out, things like that. Once that's done. And I actually unhid 𝚘𝚊𝚔𝚘. I was hoping you would comment on my community tab earlier. Let me pull that up for just a minute. And he didn't really have any comment to that. There it is, right there. If you can read that. Someone with a sock account put that up in my chat earlier. And I would agree with that. And I would say that he did it much the same as like that hillbilly man did. You remember that guy used to go to Huckleberry's panels and talk trash of everybody. I believe that he did it. He changed the avatar to try to make himself look more intimidating than he's not. That I do believe. So repeating yourselves is what this drama community is all about. To the Rick Crude's sock account in the chat. And, you know, I'm happy to entertain it. You know, when I got time, you know, I work a full-time job. I'm not on here all that often, but, you know, here I am on this night tonight. So I don't know. I don't necessarily, I don't want to agree so much that he changed it because he started hanging on breadth of settlements or any of them. But I would say that it is my judgment and my opinion, which everybody and their brother and their next door neighbor's dog has one. You know, to try to make himself look intimidating. Now Brett and I never even got along. And he didn't even like me. And it's not true that he gave me a wrench that I paid for it. Like that this guy in the chat here with this Jim Rockford sock account, you know, was saying, put up the receipt for that. See, and that's really the angle. The best. This is how you go at these guys and knock them down like bowling pins. It's like whack-a-troll. When they come at you with a loaded question, like was said in my chat earlier, saying, you know, a comment saying, you know, we know that you did this because of X, Y, and Z. Whatever stupid, you know, snide, idiotic, moronic comment that was made that makes literally no sense at all. Other than just take a cheap shot. You're saying that you're projecting that you know what you're projecting, making a statement that I know this is why I did this. You're saying you're saying that I know this is why I did something or said something or whatever. I mean, are you asking that, or are you telling that? It sounds more like you're telling that. Are you looking for like me to confirm some open-ended comment or accusation claim that you are making at me? I mean, I'd love to see some proof of that. So if you're going to come at me and not show any receipts to back your claims, I'm sorry. Then I'm going to very swiftly return the favor back at you. It's the I'm rubber, you're glue. Everything bounces off me, sticks right the hell back to you. You know, if you're going to come at me at that angle, and project, you know, my feelings or thought patterns, you know, on or off this platform. Nobody knows what anybody's really thinking in their head at any given moment, and that is a known fact. To say that you do, even somebody who is a degreed, which we seem to be lacking thereof, an actual degreed, you know, board certified psychiatrist. We sure as hell don't find them anywhere on this community, as if you would call it that. And it's probably a good thing. I mean, I honestly wouldn't want our professional mental health care people to be mingling in YouTube drama on the internet, you know, that we see out here. But I think that it's always the last go-to, and this goes even back to the old AOL chat rooms or Yahoo groups or any of this stuff. Even the what was it called before? It was Google Hangouts, which is now called Meet. It is very true that we always seem to, as a whole, I certainly have never done this, to use that default to call somebody a PDF file or a PDF file simp, which there is no definition to that term in the Urban Dictionary. Even that would be the place to look for the most up to date modern slang that you would find out there. Why is that? Well, it's kind of a coined term. What I see out here is people using you're friends with so and so, and this is what they did, and that's supposed to be a gotcha moment, right? Okay, so you are upset with, or you're trying to you do a gotcha moment. You're trying to get one up on me, saying that what, I am friends with somebody, they did something stupid, perhaps, or just in your view of it, perhaps, and you are coming at me for something that they did. So I love the guilt game. Guilt by association is what that's called. Now, why is it when we were growing up, when some kid broke the rules, got caught chewing gum, copying off answers, the kid sitting next to him, spitballs on the chalkboard, whatever. Why is it that person got caught, that person got in trouble, not the ones sitting around them or their friends? It is true, if you're involved in what's called an accessory to a crime, that would mean like, robbing a bank. Some of the stories we heard out of, what's his name? Lord Doc, spilling the beans on being involved as the getaway driver of bank robberies or whatever. If those stories be true, then yes, then absolutely, you were part of a crime that you were privy to and you participated in, and if it resulted in someone's tragic, loss of life, even if the cops ended up shooting and killing a robber or something went horribly wrong, you would be equally held responsible in the eyes of the law. And as laws vary from state to state, that would be true. But to get on the platform and say, hey, that you're friends with that person, or that person, or you've had that person on your panel, and they got outed for this, that, or the other thing. What I was saying to Mr. Terry in my chat earlier, my community tab earlier, which I don't think he grasp the concept thereof, is called ex post facto. I'll put that in the chat because I have the YouTube site up, that Latin term, ex post facto. Look it up. If you don't know what it means, look it up. You guys love Googling shit? Enjoy Googling that. I'll even put it on the panel. What that means is if you're caught jaywalking and the law was not in effect, or you jaywalked last week, and then this week there's a new law in effect for jaywalking. We are now going to we're going to charge you, cite you, whatever, for jaywalking before the law even went into effect. So I would apply the same principle of out here, saying you're friends with somebody, or you know somebody even by proxy, and that person gets charged with a crime or says something stupid on the internet or whatever it is, then you're going to now hold everybody responsible that is around that person as a guilt by association game. That's what that means. And that to me is bullshit. If you have an issue with somebody on here, you need to take it up with them, not with people around them. But that is how we play the game of trying to pit people against each other. And I was seeing this years ago when I first started getting involved in these godforsaken panels. God, why did you do this to us? Is this some kind of a failed CIA experiment or something? I don't know. Let me take that down now. There's a lot of speculation on that. It's funny to think about. But in actuality, the whole social media realm, and particularly after the pandemic ended, something we couldn't even really say that word without getting worried about a medical misinfo strike back in the day, right there, Trump monkey. But I remember people. So when the whole Blame Katie thing, when she lost her channel, I'm going to that for a second, had 6.24K subs. She came back on many other channels. They kept getting zapped over and over and over again. Doesn't mean she's here today, gone tomorrow, or tomorrow is yesterday. But what it means is people were going at me saying, "Oh, there's 𝚘𝚊𝚔𝚎, clout chasing off of her Katie, losing her channel's got nothing to do with it." Well, I say, hee-haw. Remember that show to that? Remember that? I do. I'm sorry. You're talking to the guy who I am the first person to ever be blocked on Katie's channel ever. You guys know that? Ever. And I know the exact guy who did it. And I know she gave that guy he was one of her first mods. I think he might have actually been her very first moderators ever when she went live. She gave that guy a wrench, knowing that he would block me on every single friggin' channel that he would see me on that he was wrenched on. Much the same as you would see the Harry Balls doing that. Same kind of thing. Although Harry Balls blocks me off of Masshole's channel. And I'm gonna get into that in a second. And it kicked me from her server after he accused me of nuking her server that I was kicked out of over 3 months. Now, I personally do not believe for a grain, an instant. Is that news? Holy guacamole. Is that news now? Tammy Limlin in the chat? That is a blast of the past. Haven't seen any of 69 Mammy in quite a while, but I've seen her friend on here. Anyways, what's his name? I can't think of it. With the little dog, the white dog picture. That guy. But anyways, neither here nor there. But it's just hilarious that you look back at these people and the sad lives that they live on the internet. I seldom get in Discord at all, hardly at all. Trump said, "You talk a lot of shit in the chat, but you don't show any receipts. Go live and then do an exposure video." I've been waiting for bedtime clowns receipts for over 3 years, and we'll wait on for years. That will go on forever. And he's not. I unblocked him tonight so he could comment on my community tab, and he didn't do it. He doesn't have to do it, but just for the sake of hey, just keeping him honest. That's all I'm doing. We debunked that lie over 3 years ago. That's why we the people Tyrant Wars had to take that community tab down from a screenshot that none of them than 69 Mammy had taken, and it fell into the hands of Tyrant Wars, probably because she gave it to Rick Crude. Oh shit, I forgot about that. So you'll have to go talk to Axel Bailey about that lie, about that one. So this is actually the guy who was an eyewitness on when that was all going on. Like bedtime clowns say, "Oh, Blue Eyes said this." That's the bitch that called me a PDF file. That's a real credible source, and she later admitted that. Well, it was funny, it's funny to call people that, right? Yeah, that's what we do out here. Well, I would expect no less from anyone that came from a Joey Wolf, psycho obsessed, frickin' Nimrods. I don't know what on the internet that come from a channel known as Tom Cambino that got doxxed. Was it probably about a year and a half or so ago now? And we learned some things about that guy. Damn. His name is not Tom Cambino. If anyone knows the movie Scarface from 1990, then you can take that name from the lead actor in there. Thank you. So there it is. Let's see here. What else? Oh, vids. Now, COVIDs was at the time back in 23 was mingling with these people that were Abe haters, and I was warning this guy. That's right, vids. If you're out there, I was warning this guy that these mofos are doxers. That's right. They will dox you. And if you don't believe me, continue on your path here to to getting found out. This is a guy who, like many of us out there, particularly at the time, we really cherished our anonymity online. And so COVID's what he started to do is this. He started to hang out with somebody known as 𝚈𝚊𝚔𝚐𝚃𝚞𝚃. Has anybody seen her around? I can't even find her channel anymore. Isn't that amazing? Yes, that's correct. He did. And so he apparently, unbeknownst to me and many of the rest of us out here, he started hanging out on FaceTime with her. And there was apparently a stream a private I don't know what you call it. Well, I don't use it. I've never used FaceTime before, and I never plan on using it. But they're using FaceTime and video and all that together with each other. And 𝚈𝚊𝚔𝚏 had accused him of doing inappropriate things with her daughter on FaceTime, and this is a true story. It's not true that he did it, because he didn't. It was proven. Let me get to that in just a minute. It was proven untrue. It was squashed pretty quick, actually. But this is the guy that's running around saying I was supporting News Now Houston and this Rick Productions idiot over in England. The problem is with you people in the chat, including this village idiot in the chat right here, that was simping for Huck as being a veteran and probably still does. This Trumpstead loser here was a guy known as Nemesis, who I know, and Emo Hollingwolf, and Big Ben Bittner also. So those guys were hanging out on a channel of their own back in 22, 23, somewhere in that area, as a group. But I was not on there hanging out with them. I didn't even know about that channel until much later on. So I'd love to see receipts otherwise. You guys don't have, because they don't exist. So I'm not them. If you have an issue with them and what they were doing, then go talk to them about it. Go take it out on them. You can talk all you want to, but I don't care what you say. I only care what you can show. And receipts is something you ain't got. You don't have any receipts. Yes, I would agree with that, Mike Hunt. You guys have no receipts. You'd like to talk shit on the internet. It's just like Black Rose going 100, the bedtime clown over on Terry's table of 5 over there. Number 5 alive. Remember that show? Was it Short Circuit? Right around the time Back to the Future came out in the mid-'80s. Okay, so you're stamping your rubbers. That would be a textbook rubber stamping what someone said. It's not just the mere presence of being there when it was said. But then again, Terry was sitting there screaming at his old friends on the shit show and all of that, saying that, well, they were not having us back because they were so mad at what Jamie, he was so angry at Jamie and what that big meanie man said to him on a panel one day. Woohoo, what was me? Well, Terry, you of all people know why is it anyone even knows anything about your personal life? Because you put it out there. That's right, you. And you turn on all these guys and saying these guys, AC, Tonic, and Brad, they don't have my back, man. They're not my friends. They're not, man. Y'all. I'm done with you guys. I'm done with you. And that's exactly how that went down. So, Terry, you're up there and you've got people on your panel running their mouths, talking shit about me. And I didn't see you say, I'm sorry. Is there any proof of any of this? Do you have something to show that for that? I hashtagged, what's his name? Vern Vision in my community tab just last week about this. You got Bedtime Clown in there doing the same thing, running his mouth in the chat, spreading lies about me, and he just let it slide. He let it go. So I'm like, okay, I don't. Again, did it not dawn on you to say, I'm sorry? You've got some proof of that. You're the one running around saying it, obviously trying to get everyone's approval to what he's slandering me about. I mean, if this guy really, if Mr. Bedtime Clown there actually knew what he was talking about and was confident about what he's saying, why would he be running around in every single chat that he could find and dumping that in there, saying that Abe's a PDF simp? Because then the guy has the audacity to sit here and say, well, you've got that old live stream from Lady Dice from back in 2023 on your backup channel by your own admission. Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, thank you very much. May I have another? Well, why don't you unprivatize it then? Why would you be asking for it if you claim to have all this damaging evidence from this live panel? Where, yes, she did let that guy up because Axel Bailey was sitting there Skyping with her, getting her to let him get on there. And she ultimately did it. Go take that up with her and him. This is yesterday's news. Show some receipts. You're not blocked. Okay, so again, I'm not seeing people coming in the chat back to this guy going, yeah, that's true. That's exactly what Abe did. Yeah, we got it now. At most part, you're just getting ignored. But again, there's Terry going off at the mouth for months on a downward spiral with the shit show crew there, saying, you guys don't have my back on this. I know where you stand now. You're not my friends anymore. I'll go find some new friends. I mean, he just about lost his friend COVID there when he started gnawing at him. I mean, at least 2 or 3 times. And then comes back and says, "Well, I'm sorry. Gee, maybe I kind of took maybe I kind of went at you the wrong way." Well, this guy is definitely unbrand loyal. And I'll tell you something else. Andrew, my boss, Brame of all people, he sat there, and I remember him saying, "Well, yeah, I said a long time ago, this guy's way too emotional for this drama shit, this community." And I would agree with that. Yes. Listen, if you've got shit going on in your personal life, it would behoove you to get off of it for a while. On the same token, what's his name? Golden Boy, aka Mr. Tonic there, said, well, and I agree. He said, well, a lot of us have been on here when we're kind of an emotional train wreck or whatever. And that's okie dokie. But then again, you guys didn't sit there and turn and blast and backstab all your friends and cut them all down and sit there and cast blame on all them because you're mad at one guy, much the same as Bird did with the same group of people. And I didn't even know what the hell was going on for the longest time on there until somebody finally told me what the hell it was about. And I still really don't know all the details, and I don't really care. I said, here's a guy who's trying to out all his old friends, calling them all predators and shit like that, shortly after he did this to me. But not even stating what the real issues are at stake. What is this guy disgruntled about? What is his big beef with these guys? And we never got it out of them. So again, more fake news. And that's what gets me, draws me. I'm like, God, I cringe every time. Like, these people. If you're mad that stuff about your personal life's getting out there, and you're mad that people are using it against you because you go and attack them, and you attack their character, and shit like that. And yes, it is true. Terry was running around every panel he could, trying to get guys like AC and them, banned off of those channels. Yes, he did do that. And he still will try to. Why do you think Terry doesn't get on Lisa D's panel anymore? Well, it's because he figured out really quickly that somebody he shitted on last year has got the keys. Oh, well, we can't have that now, can we? No. We certainly can't have that. He sat there and pouted away and never came back again. At least I can't come back on here because somebody I can't be around. I can't stand is silencing my voice. Terry, it's exactly what you did today. a friend of mine, a guy I know who this guy is, who they were saying was me, was in this guy's chat, and I was sent some of the screenshots that this guy was being typed, and somebody said, "Oh, there's Abe." This was going on a couple of years ago, and I was getting timed out everywhere. Shout out to Ambient Alcohol, the old channel that is from about 3 years ago. 3 years ago now, that thing kicked off. It was around February, March, I believe it was, of that year. But I never did give credit where credit's due, and that was where Truthfinder UK. Much as people cursed that guy, it was very effective with getting his point across, getting people's attention. He sure got mine more than once. His strike wars that he kicked off there, and he even took down the shit show. And he took down Ambient Alcohol. He took down Pathetic Cult Diaries, Dutchie's other channel there. Shout out to Crayons Everywhere. And he's really the guy who got me unblocked from those channels, if you think about it. Because as Weenie tried to come at me, and she blocked me. She blocked me for simply going back at her when she took a shot at me on what channel was that? It was either Quick Vix or Angels, one of those channels. When I was going at her, saying, shout out to Truthfinder for finally unblocking me from your old channel there, Weenie. And that is true. He nuked the channel. Everybody got instantly unblocked because it doesn't exist anymore. It's gone. Hey, Jason, what's going on? Oh, this is absolutely stunningly hilarious. And a guy like Jason that guy's hilarious. He doesn't care. No, that's not true. I have to correct that. Truthfinder did not take me down. What he did is he gave me 2 strikes on my backup channel, is what he did. And that was my original Abe channel, which is not my original channel, mind you. That was Flying Monkey that struck that twice with copyrights. And then we zip along about a half a year later is when Truthfinder struck my backup, my 0.1 backup channel. Twice is what he did, and he took the strikes back, and then apparently used it to go after none other than Silver Diamond next, and he got her twice. That's what happened. Now, my most busy, or the best live stream that I ever did that I can recall was when we ran into that problem, and I had 80 some people watching my live stream as Truthfinder was up there, Capgun was on there, Tonic was on there, Andrea Knows was on there. But those guys couldn't figure out for the life of them who she was. And I can't think of who else was on there at the time, but we had a hell of a panel going, and it went for over 4 hours. And Truthfinder did a copyright strike on that one, and that was the first one. And that was my as I can recollect, was the actual factual, forget the pun, the most successful live stream that I ever did. So there is that. So one thing, now we're gonna go. Let's move on to the Hebrew stabby thing. Okay, I think, and this is just an opinion. Squishy was asking me some questions about this, and I really don't know. And the reason I say that I don't, I was not involved in what was known as the Beaver Squad, or that she called it. I was never involved in. I wasn't even allowed in the server that Kristen and Stabby were sharing together. I was actually ultimately kicked from it. And there's those old familiar eyeballs. So that is actually true. And I would say that the reason Stabby is probably having a hard time to prove this this verbal what you call contractor agreement. I learned in my MBA law class, doesn't make me a lawyer. It's just a class that I took, a graduate class that I took, and I aced. I got an A in that class. But we learned about contracts, and verbal contracts are binding. If I said ERR and AC, if you guys will pitch in and buy me an Alienware nitrogen-cooled gaming laptop, I will make, I will give each of you $100 payments each month until the thing is paid off. We could do a balloon loan. You know what a balloon loan is? Where it peaks and then you pay the whole thing off at a certain deadline, certain time. And the fact is this: Rada and them were just using it for clickbait content. That's all that he was doing. He didn't give a shit, in my view, about what her situation was. Do I think that's? I've known Hebrew for over 3 years, and it hurts to say that he ghosted her and disappeared. It hurts to say that there's strong circumstantial evidence that would support that her side of things, of what happened there, right? Yeah, definitely that. But at the same token, we can say she went about it the whole wrong way, where she was giving information about him, doxing information to people like Squishy. Okay, I would definitely not go along with that either. If anyone knows anything about me, I have never gone and said, "Hey, AC, you run the shit show there. Let me give you a bunch of stuff on Black Rose and go get her, man. Go get her. Get her for me, will you? I want to put this bitch on blast." They don't have to. People like that put themselves on blast. It's so easy. So easy. And Silly Rabbit did a new community tab on his channel, his new channel it is. Not sure what happened to the old one, about going live soon. Well, thanks for the warning. We'll go to DEF CON 3 and 3rd over that one. That's for sure. Oh, that guy is horrible. Just horrid. He just kills. He gets on JoJo's panel, and he just completely just obliviates the atmosphere of whatever's going on there. God, that guy's limited vocabulary, intellect. Like people like him or Black Rose, all they do is get on and hurl stupid insults. That's all. Is this like 4th grade or something? Are we in the locker room? What the hell's going on here? Locker room language. What is this? And even Swedish Sugar called that out. It's like all you do is hurl insults. You have nothing of any like relevance to say to whatever the hell kind of argument you're supposedly trying to make here. You even what's his name? Patriot Defense, who was in my chat earlier. The guy who goes way back to Jeff is here when they started that whole panel kickoff thing. If that's in fact where it started years ago, I said if. Now I remember he made that suggestion of doing that. Now whether or not it was around before that, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I don't know. Old news, but still. People love to live in the past, and they love to sit here and try to call people out. Abe's living in the past. All he does is talk about what happened in 2023. Well, look at yourselves. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're living in the past, and the reason you're doing this, you're stuck on it. You got nothing else to go with. Nothing. So words on the internet. If it's said on YouTube, it must be true, right? Yeah, there you go. So the one time I went to Terry's channel and sat and watched him, I just couldn't believe what I was hearing. I was listening to this guy blasting a hairdryer on for like 10 freaking minutes. Yes, I'm trying to watch my language more. 10 freaking minutes. All I'm sitting here is hearing, what the hell? What kind of content is this? Dude, this is a guy who is definitely gifted with music. He knows music. This guy could kill any party. With a great lineup. This guy knows his shit. I know people that all they do is music. That's all they do. They're DJs. They're pro DJs. They're on Reddit. They're on X, formerly Twitter. They're on YouTube. They're on Rumble, and they're on Twitch, and all over the place, everywhere. These guys make a killing, and it's a side hustle for them. You know, that is something that a guy like that would be perfect for. And instead, he just tries to become what? What is this guy doing on the internet? This guy is as I understand it, this guy's like a freaking computer scientist or some software engineer or something. I know a guy who retired from that line of work, making over $100,000 a year. This guy bought his house in cash. Drives nothing but Volkswagens and BMWs. The wife's got a Lexus. This guy's, definitely in the upper class figure. Why is this guy who has that same background sitting here on the internet, living on like social income in Germany? Why? That's a choice. You made a choice to do that. This guy had a goal to hit 500 subs. 500! And instead, he was, while he's on COVID's panel, is sitting there flipping. He's completely gone ballistic, right? He was already on that downward turn and just loses it. And he had just been saying he didn't care if this Manuels gave another strike or not. He didn't care. And then she does. She filed 2 strikes same time. It just took 10 days later for the second one to hit. And then he self-deletes his channel right then and there. And I clipped it. It's on my channel today. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I mean, and then that's why I call him 2.0. Utopia 2.0. But he did learn not to screw with her again. He did, because he knows that if he does, what's going to happen? And those two, I wouldn't, if you tick them off, suffer the consequences. There it is. If I did the same thing and I started doing that to one of you guys and you fired back, I would have everything coming to me. I might not agree with knocking out channels and videos per se. Hey, what's going on, sweet? If you want to clear a panel, or if you want to get rid of Blackthorn, aka Dead Rose, on any channel, all that you got to do is sweet as she runs from her. This bitch runs from her. She can't take it. She cannot take it. It's hilarious. Where do these people freaking come from? I just can't. They sit on here all fucking day, all day, and all night. Man. I mean, I don't know. I've been at work. The last time I went live, I have been working 12-hour shifts, making money at my job. I have not been here. Occasionally, when I have some downtime, I'll get on here and see what's going on. But I am not glued to this shit 24/7. It's very unhealthy. It's very unhealthy. Whether you like that guy, Spit Cup Jamie, or not, he was absolutely right. This is not a lifestyle. This is not healthy when he's talking about genuinely Jen to be on this thing 24/7. You don't sprinkle Discord on your coffee in the morning unless your name's Corrosive Commentary who loves when I talk about him. Oh my! Where? Why? Where? Is it? It's not me. It can't possibly be me. There are some people. How's it going, RDA? What's going on, dude? There are I saw you in the chat there. A shout out. Some people that I'm sorry, they are just not. They're not content creator people. They just suck at it so bad. And a lot of them, they have zero personality. You've got personality, and not to say that I'm like, on the starting lineup here, of YouTube heavyweight champions, because I got 23 people in my chat, on my channel. But God, at least I admit it. I'm not here to become a big YouTube star at all. Not at all. Not at all. I'm just out here to have fun. That's it. And just fuck around. That's all I'm here for. That's it. Now, I've been carrying on for over an hour on my monologue, and this is the next time I go live. I want one of you in the chat who never gets on. Let's do Trump said. Let's get him up on my panel. By the way, I still have that video, that live that you did when you kicked your live stream at the Indy 500, which I have been to, by the way. Man, is it loud. You've got to have earplugs there or you're screwed. Permanent hearing damage. But he went live for about 8 or 9 minutes, and he was in the stands. And if, I'm like, if I was there, I would go find this guy. It'd be hilarious. Hey, Trump said it's your number one fan. Would it be like the movie Misery? Possibility. It's possible. But I do have that download. I got that download video. That was funny. But the Indy 500 is very cool. It's a fun place to be. Yes, I do. Yes, you did. We did go live at the Indy 500. I have that video. I still got it. It's on my external drive, on my 3 terabytes. On my 3 terabytes, my server over there in the other room. See, I got files on Trump said. The Abe files. Dun 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 dun. Oh God. May God have mercy on our digital soul thing. Kind of lighten the atmosphere up a little bit. What do you guys think? 100 years from now, if people stumble across any of our content, if those of us who actually go live, that is, or upload videos, what are you afraid to ask? What do you think they're going to say? I don't know. I think that these people are absolutely freaking out of their mind. I think Conan O'Brien got it right back in 2009 when he said in the year 3000, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook will merge to form a super time-wasting machine called YouTwitface. In the year 3000. Remember that? I do. That was hilarious. Boy, he sure called that one, didn't he? Sure did. Nice. Blues, what are you doing? What is going on in your world? Oh, well, Connie there. Connie, I got his panel the other day, and I absolutely hate Restream.io. ASMR, use Restream.io. And when he went live, and I like the look of it, don't get me wrong, but it has nothing but problems with audio processing. And you always hear an audio feedback every time. And that was weird because it only happened when I would get on his panel. And it's funny now with a guy like Rebel or with Steph, if you know anything about these people, you can tell when they're DMs, when they're reading something, if someone DMs them something and they're reading it to you verbatim. You can tell the change in their voice when they're reading versus when they're just doing what I'm doing right now. Talking to just living it, just out here talking. Not reading anything. That's it. That's it. So there it is. There it is. Let's see. Let us see. Mr. Trump said, your friend Rada there. I was about 30 seconds away from letting that guy will be nice tonight get on my panel until he decided to kick his live stream and try to live panel. And one thing guys like him or your BTCs or anyone out there knows about me is I don't bargain. I don't deal. So if you come at me and you know try to pull that stunt with me, guess what? You're not going to get. You're not going to get the goods, the gold. Mine, all mine, not yours. But it was pretty obvious that he had something in mind. This is a guy. This guy actually p-bombed someone. I kind of gathered there's a connection there with her and maybe Nunzio and Zelly or something from the what do you call it, Vegas Valley side. And this guy goes on her panel, and he actually, thanks for the free screenshot, by the way. He goes on her panel, and he came up as me. And thanks to, let's just say, an anonymous source who sent me that video clip, I did take that clip. I put it on my my editor, is what I did, and I made it fun. I put the audio, but not the video up. And of course, he's sitting there saying, "Well, let's see the video proof. Let's see the video." But yeah, let me just go ahead and do that, so I can lose my channel. Let's just do that just for you, asshole. But no, I did not do that. This is a guy who has taken 2 times 2 of my community tabs down for using his picture from videos where he's cam slipped on a video, or when he was you could see him on his security camera when Truthfinder pulled that stunt, if you remember, with calling the plumber, all the cops. Yes, that is definitely going IRL. That and I was very vocal against that. I don't support doing that. That is, sending someone you paid for, right? Doing something like that, which can result in getting law enforcement to your knocking on your door, is not so cool. But you could see him on camera, and he actually they weren't struck down; they just got taken down because he can't stand it when his image is put on the internet, which didn't come from Instagram. It didn't come from Facebook. It came in his own videos. It did. So there was a channel that got taken down recently, which had a similar name to that, and I heard through the grapevine that was Zelly that. I think it is. Let me go right there. And Lol Cows of YouTube channel got taken down. Rest in peace. Or pieces. Another one bites the dust. Another one. So anyways, like I say, you can talk all you want to online, but it's what you can't prove. If you're going to come out here and make claims, like I'm seeing Mr. BTC and Trump said in the chat, then put up or shut up. Put your receipts out. Let's see what you got, or like what you don't got. Again, BTC, go back and rewind the stream here, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Again, you have been sitting here trying to basically push me to unprivatize a live stream that I happened to download in 2023 on my backup channel. If you wanted it or wanted parts of it, why didn't you go get it then? Because at the time, I wasn't using this channel. I was using that channel. Thank you very much. Well, you snooze, you lose. That's all I got to say. Offered to sell it to this guy, and he said no. In actuality, I never put out my my Cash App or PayPal, so he couldn't get the money to me anyway, and all that. in actuality, he could have offered me 15 grand, and just to spite him, I wouldn't sell it to him. Anyways, besides the point, if you don't have proof and receipts to back up your claims, then what are you looking for? BTC, you've been running around. I have a zillion screenshots of you saying the exact same thing you are in the chat tonight. And it's interesting how you seem to try to go out of your way to say that and not show that. You have a channel. You have obviously no problem with trying to put people on blast in years past. What's your problem today? Well, that's what I thought. Still waiting for those maybe receipts that we'll never see. Never see. We'll go on waiting forever. So, again, you can talk all the shit you want, but you certainly can't walk it. And I thought that's what a true Texan was all about. Apparently not. Well, exclusions being recruit, of course. Of course. Moving on to recruit for just a minute. The one that Crafty Cat dubbed as peg leg. Which is, it really stuck. It stuck more than me calling him Hopper, like I have. He lost his channel a couple of months ago, I want to say. I have not seen him reemerge on a new channel. Like we just saw Black Rose's new hubby, aka 𝚈𝚊𝚔𝚔, make a new channel with I think he's got like 10 subs or something on there now. It'll be interesting to see him go live. You can't use mobile live direct with YouTube without 50 subs. Naturally, you just use StreamYards to bypass it. But point being is, damn. So it's like Pet Cemetery, man. It died. We buried it. It came back 10 times more vicious. And now it's getting on Vegas Valley's panels. Oh, Zero, shout out. Thanks for the fireworks show the other day. I went back and grabbed as much of it as I could and made a video short out of it, and people loved it, I think. I think they loved it. So you're going to have to do that again. Zero never goes live except in his own channel when he's shooting fireworks off, like the 4th of July. This dude's got like a freaking arsenal of fireworks, mortar stuff too. Anyways, my only suggestion is to you is don't drink any alcohol and shoot off them fireworks. And that's for your own safety. That's my only advice. Take it or leave it. It's not like drinking and driving, but you can blow your hand off if you've been, if you had a few of them there, too many. I've seen this. We see it in the news all the time. And all these fireworks tragedies, up to people actually getting killed with some of these mortar fireworks and things like this. So listen, I know you got experience. I know you know what you're doing, with fireworks, but when you mix it with booze, yeah, trust me. So again, this is 2026. We'll make YouTube again. Shout out to YouTube. And this year, if you guys have noticed, I haven't been on as many panels, very sporadically. How you doing, TOS? I'm sorry, I saw you earlier and I did not mention you. And we're going to end this stream now because looks like Settlement's going to kick it here in a minute. So we'll go check him out. But for people that try to come at me, like Mr. BTC in the chat there, I'm sorry, are you asking me or are you telling me? Which is it? Anyways, again, lies that were already debunked over 3 years ago. Make a video, go on your channel, do an exposure video for receipts you just don't have, and we'll have fun with it. If you guys are wondering why I titled that video short I did as the quote-unquote maybe receipts, that's because when I challenged this guy to show receipts, time and time again for the last 3 years, all he says is maybe. Well, maybe never didn't. So again, if you're going to come at me and you're going to try to ask loaded questions, like for example this, I'm a little bit more clever than that. Also this guy said, and I had just remembered this, and I had all but forgotten. This guy tried to say that I was connected to some Instagram account. I know, or not Instagram. What's it called? It's called LinkedIn. LinkedIn. It's like for putting your resume and shit on the internet. So again, I would like to see proof that I'm on LinkedIn, and that some LinkedIn account is my account, because these are the same people that lied with Recruit and said that I was a PDF file in the state of Wyoming, or not Wyoming. Scratch that. Nebraska, with Recruit about 3 years ago. Another lie. Bedtime class should go live and give us a lesson on the Illinois Vehicle Code versus the Illinois compiled statutes. I would love to get your analogy on that kind of stuff there, guy, because you seem to be mixing apples and oranges there with what's a criminal code versus a traffic code. You guys were trying to say that I had 2 DUI convictions, you guys said, month back to back. Navin Johnson, of all people, came on and said, proved that wrong. Confirmed you guys got that information wrong. And he also, I was not registered as a sexual predator in the state of Nebraska. He corrected you guys on that. And let's see, what else is there? Negligent driving. I want you to make a video, Bedtime Clown, because I had to learn a lot of that shit at my old job. I want you to explain to the audience. I'll tell you what you can do. I'll give you the opportunity right here, right now, in my chat. I want you to explain to the audience what the statute, what law, what code. You don't have to give me numbers and letters. All I need to know from you is a simple explanation or definition to what negligent driving means in Illinois, which is pretty across in 50 states. Because this guy tried to say that negligent driving was a criminal offense. No, it's not. But for the sake of argument and for you to be able to present your case, I want you to tell the live studio audience of 22 people in here right now, and I want you to argue your point, your case, that negligent driving is a criminal offense. And you don't have to cite the statute, because I already know what the statute is. I just want to hear it from you. That's all. You can give us a lowdown on that. Great. And we'll wait for that. Let's see what else here. But yes, negligent driving. And I know exactly what that means, and I want to hear from you what it means. Because yes, it is true. I was cited about 20 years ago. I think it was 19 years ago for negligent driving. I remember this, and it was right in my own home city in state. And I beat that citation in traffic court. I won it. I won. Why is that? All right, let's see. He says, he must be on the vertical stream, so I can't highlight it right now because I'm on my phone on the horizontal. This is going both vertical and horizontal, guys. So what he says here, and I'll just read it off to you. He says that you were cited for driving 11 to 14 over the post limit with the emergency vehicle present. Stupid, you were cited criminally. I would like you to state what criminal statute that is, what you are describing right there. I will give him the floor in the chat there to put that out. Hang on a second here, and we'll make sure that nobody can block him and time him out. I doubt anyone would. But he just stated, and I'm reading this verbatim, and I'll read it again. He says, you were cited for driving 11 to 14 miles per hour over the posted speed limit with emergency vehicles present. Stupid. You were cited criminally. Very interesting. Bedtime Clown, I would like to challenge you on that right here, right now. And I would like you to tell the audience, because again, I don't know what I'm talking about, because like your boy Rick Prude said, I did not work, according to him and according to you, I did not work for University Police and Public Safety Department, which I did, of course. So I would like you, I'm going to challenge you on this one, and I'm going to go, and my rebuttal to you is, what is a criminal speeding offense in Illinois? Because remember, we're jumping from what's called the IVC to ILCS. Okay, so I want you to explain to the audience right here, right now, why you think that going 11 to 14 miles per hour over the posted limit with emergency vehicles present is a criminal offense. And I'll wait for that. Are you stating that I was given an NTA? Do you know what an NTA is? Would you explain to the audience what an NTA is? I'd love to hear that. So what he's trying so hard, and it's cute. It's funny when you take somebody who did what I did up against somebody who doesn't even know the vehicle codes of his own state, trying to come at me and saying that I was criminally charged 14 miles per hour. That I have to laugh at that. That's not even a rookie cop mistake. I'm just saying. Bedtime Clown, I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna help you out tonight. As much of a jerk as you've been to me, as much as I've enjoyed clipping, adding all your screenshots of you lying about me being a PDF simp, and you saying that I was involved in getting this guy Rick Productions on Lady Di's channel 3 years ago, which is already proven a lie. We already proved that 𝚈𝚊𝚔𝚔 did that. Go talk to Nathan about it. He actually interviewed the guy on his channel, by the way. But besides the point, let me help you out here. Okay. So a criminal driving speed in Illinois, I think, as it is in most other states, is this. Hang on a second here, and let me fix a problem in the chat. Boom. Shaka-laka-laka. I remember, guys, I am monitoring the YouTube side. Now, Bedtime Clown, let's redirect our focus back onto you. I think what you're trying to compare. I need to know what criminal statute relates to your argument of emergency vehicles present and speeding. I'll wait for that one. There are laws, something called Scott's Law in Illinois, okay, that you might be trying to use against me. But again, Scott's Law isn't limited to necessarily speed. Scott's Law involves moving over and reducing speed when emergency vehicles are present on the road at a scene, or even construction workers. There are separate statutes that cover them, however. But I have to tell you something. Back when the alleged offense that I was found not guilty of in traffic court back in 2008, there was no such thing as Scott's Law. So are you trying to use 625 ILCS 5/11-907 subsection C5 on me? Is that what you're trying to do, sir? Because that you're telling me that I criminally was charged. Where'd he go for going 11 to 14 over, and it was a criminal offense? That's interesting. Well, I mean, the only thing that I could possibly try to help you out with your argument, and it's going to actually wreck it in just a minute. I'm going to explain to you why. But I have to set the record here, and I would like you to look up, and I did pull this up on my screen. I don't memorize the actual statute codes, but this is called doing your homework. I'm gonna have to defer you to ILCS 6-11-503 from Chapter 95 and a half, paragraph 11-503, Section 11-503. Woo! Man, that was a hoot. What the hell did I just say? In other words, I need to go to the Illinois compiled statutes, and I need you to do some research on what reckless driving is, and what constitutes reckless driving in Illinois. Because I'm gonna tell you something there, BTC. Reckless driving doesn't cover going 11. Okay, let's see. Who unhid that person? Oh, bedtime clown. Here, let me fix that for you. All right, you won't be able to do that again. Now, I told you, pulling a slick one on me. All right, BTC, you're next. I just don't be doing that. No. I'll fix that in a nanosecond. Hang on. All right. Anybody else want to lose their wrench tonight? Batter's up. Bottom of the inning. All right. So I told you guys I'm not new at this. I'm not a rookie out here, my guys. I'm watching my chat. I'm watching my chat like a hawk. After I shot one down in my panel more than once, and I'll do it again too. Caw, bitch. Okay, so with that being said, reckless driving at speeds would require 15 miles per hour or more over the posted limit. So 14 miles an hour doesn't cut the mustard, my friend. Sorry to say. So I just got you there. But anyways, but I think you were trying to get that off the top of your tongue, but you didn't quite know, when you're trying to say it's criminal when emergency vehicles are present and you speed by them or something that, that you were charged criminally. We specifically remember going to court over that with my attorney. Yes, that's right, my paid attorney. And getting that ticket instantly dismissed. And it was for negligent driving, and I think it was 2008. This is 2026. That would put it in the realm of 18, about 17 or so years ago. And there was no such thing as Scott's Law at the time. And I beat, even if there were, it would matter because I beat the ticket. Wrench is my rifle. Anyways, tell that to Nemesis. All right. Well, Zero, I told you that I was watching the chat very closely, and you went against my blocking a sock account in the chat, which is known as Abe's Lost Sock. That was spamming my chat like this village idiot, known as Bedtime Clown, who likes to run his mouth. And it is true. Bedtime Clown, he does like to talk a lot of shit about people, but doesn't like to take a look at the mirror at some of his background, his past. Right? This is after all, this is a guy who gave Connie a computer, a cell phone. Right? How much cash did you fork over to this kid? Right? I mean, hey, it is what it is. Right? It is what it is. Let's see. Again, this guy was on Terry's earlier, saying, running his mouth, saying that I let this Rick Productions guy lead his panel back in 2023. If that's true, then why is the screenshot that 69 Mammy took that got in the hands of the people disappear from their community tab just days later? Why did that happen? Well, that happened because they realized, obviously, they screwed up, made a mistake, accusing me of something that somebody else did. Can you explain that, Bedtime Clown? Why would that be? You can go to their channel today and try to find that old community tab, which I have saved. I have that old community tab that they did. Hell, I got their first community tab they have ever done and know what that's about. But they took it down because they realized they got it wrong. I can only assume, and again, this is only my theorem. My theory is that after Mammy took that screenshot and it wound up in the hands of Tyrant Wars, it got passed on to people like Rick Crew that was in their inner circle. and from there it wound up in their hands. And that was over. I have to go back and dig it up. And I'm not going to post it because I want to see. I'm gonna challenge you on that one to a duel of the receipts that you lack thereof. When I was being accused of giving on our channel, giving it to him. That's what it was. When we were actually talking about the guy known as 𝙈𝚊𝚔𝚎, that guy should sound awful familiar to a guy known as 𝚈𝚘𝚞𝚏𝚏, because that's the guy he was emailing with a couple years ago. The guy didn't have the guts to come on panel, but he just sent him some pictures trying to prove that he was a state trooper in North Carolina. And long story short, this guy was saying that, well, his badge is fake because it's got his name on it, right? Well, this is what he said. He said this guy's got fake badges because you got to keep them, right? Well, I got to keep the ones I had made, not the ones that were issued to me, first of all. Second of all, this dude actually admitted he kept every single badge that he had as he was going through ranks, to rank of a major on the North Carolina State Police, as I recall this. And I have yet to see proof that any of those receipts, those pictures or trophies or awards, that uniform that he showed was his. And the only way you would know that, obviously, is if you had the guy's name. So he's not about to give that out. So we're just supposed to take some known liar as BTC's word on that guy was legit. So that was what that was actually about. And by his own admission, BTC goes, well, this guy came on my channel first, bitching you up for hiding him and pulling his your channel. Well, right? Where's the evidence of that? I have the clip of that actually too. And you can actually hear Lady Di sitting there talking about how there's two accounts that came in the chat and said that guy was a sock account. That was not the real Elliot. And then she went and pulled his wrench and she hit him herself. Damn. Messed it up, got the narrative wrong again. Busted out again. Anyways, what do you got to say about that? Anything? No, nothing at all. So that was what that entailed. And I have all the... when you're accusing, it's the accuser that has to show the proof, not the accused. So I'm sorry. You were saying that I have receipts to show? Yeah, you're right. I do have receipts that I could show. But why would I show them? You're the one coming on here throwing all this shit out and making all these unsubstantiated claims about me. Where's your proof? You got a channel, right? You got a channel. You call me a liar all you want to. Oh, but that doesn't prove shit. So let's sit and wait for your receipts. And we'll go on waiting forever. That's all I got to say about that. I hope that video short I did earlier gets a lot of views. Keep clicking them, man. Keep clicking them, guys. I'm not a monetized channel, so I'm not making any money off of this. This is all in good fun. And I will monetize this channel. You can hold me to that. Monetizing a channel. Hey, if I became a big YouTube podcaster or something like that, which, trust me, guys like that, no, I'm sorry. They're just not. They don't have it. Then thank you for the screenshot. I love this. Keep them coming. So again, I'd like to see your receipts. You got a lot to say about it. Put up or shut up. You're involved. You hang out with everybody on the shit show, Bedtime Clown. Go get your receipts and give it to them. I can assure you that they'll put them up. So we'll wait for that. Been 3 years and counting, and we'll go on waiting. Anyways, like I say, look, I was transparent when people were accusing me of doing that 3 years ago or so, when I put the entire fucking live stream on my channel for everybody to go watch it and then download it, whatever you want to do with it. You wanted to pick at it, go ahead. Hap at it, guys. Hap at it. And I took it down about a half a year later. And I did that because idiots like this were running around saying things like this. And I'm like, dude, I have the whole fucking stream downloaded on my channel. Unlike you, I actually got the receipt. What's your problem? Anyways, I'm pretty much done entertaining this. I hope you enjoyed your 15 minutes of shame or fame, whichever you want to call it. I think it's hilarious. I do. But anyways, it usually he who laughs last laughs loudest. I do believe that. I really do. And on that note, I'm gonna get out of here because I got other things to do. Don't you? Brett's live. Go check him. Bedtime phone. Ask for a link to get on the guy's panel and show your receipts. I'm sure he would let you do it. You've got a wrench on his channel. Yeah, he obviously trusts you enough. Go up on his panel right now. Send him a DM. I don't even have his DM. Send him a DM in Discord or what the fuck ever, smoke signals, whatever it is, and put up your receipts. Don't just get on the panel and run your mouth and talk shit like you did on Terry's channel. The guy who turned against those guys, right? Threw them all in the same stew pot, stirred them all in there together, and blamed and cast blame on them for everything he was mad at one guy for. Because after all, it's all guilt by association games out here, right? Right. So again, that would be this guy has 67 people watching him right now, right here, right now. That is the perfect opportunity to get up there and put those receipts out on blast that you don't have. That would be awesome. I would die to see. For the rest of you, thank you for coming. And we'll catch you on the next one. This has been great. This has been fun. I enjoyed this. And like Mr. 𝚈𝚅𝚔𝚎 said, my stream is a receipt, bitches. So that means mine is too. How do you like them Snapples? Huh? Again, BTC, let us see some receipts. You can type that all you want to in the chat, but again, you have a channel. You're not one of these. And to your credit, you are someone that will get up on the panel, unlike most of the rest of these people will not do. Zero, trust me, I know you do. So I know you're not afraid to get on a panel and take a link. So why don't you go on Brett's panel? Or I'll tell you what, if you want to come on my panel right now and you want to put some receipts out, I will absolutely let you do that. How's that sound? But again, we're looking for receipts to back your claims. And again, someone that we both know interviewed the guy who actually did that. So you can keep saying that all you want to. Doesn't make it true now, does it? Just like you, Mr. Trump said, I know you won't do panels. So what do you say? Is that a yay? Or is that a nay? Or is that a maybe, like your maybe receipts? So I thought not. Well, we consistently had 20 people in here all night. Wow, Brett is actually live, which is very rare. And that is pretty cool. So I'm going to take that. The answer is no. Again, we're looking for receipts. I have a shit ton of them. I have the entire, it was like 3.5 hour live stream downloaded from that night. Although only about 30 or so minutes of it was when things really got hit. Yes, maybe. The answer is maybe, which is what I thought. Okay, so that's all I got for now. Again, I double, triple dog dare you to go up on that guy's panel right now and put out them receipts. Just put Abe on blast. Put him on blast, man. This is your time to shine. Let's ice him out. Let's get rid of him. Right? Right here, right now. No more Abe, right? Fucktard. All right. I'll see you later, guys. Have fun. And I'm going over there to check it out. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.